Peace party people. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is Let the Record Show. I am Mike Pizzo.
I am Warren Peace.
And today's special guest is...
Do I look hot now?
You look hot.
Yeah.
How about now?
Yep. Brush that dirt off
Evidence.
your shoulder.
What up, what up?
What up, man? Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Man,
Yeah.
So basically, you gave us a list of your favorite classic old school hip-hop songs of all time.
Yeah, I mean, this is hard to do.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, it's hard. And I started trying to make, you didn't give me parameters, so I started trying to make a best 10 list.
Yeah.
That wasn't going over well because I was trying to cover like all genres.
Of course.
So then I made album one, and that didn't feel right either. So then I said, I'm just going to cap it at like 1990.
Yeah.
And try to just show records that like mildly or greatly influenced and shaped.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
Yeah.
Well, now we're going to go through those tracks and let the record
Let's
show.
fucking go. This is amazing.
Yeah, let's do it. All right. Cut. All right, first on your list, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5, The Message, coming from the album of the same name. Let's check this out. I mean, come on, this is an easy one. Tell us about it.
I'm not going to rap along with anything
Okay.
today either.
Okay.
I'm not doing
Well,
don't
we'll
go
see
for
about that.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. I promise. I won't do that.
So tell us about it.
I think this whole, we're like just rocking it and then we talk?
Yeah.
That's fine. All right.
Yeah.
So I think this record is kind of like when all the movies like embracing hip hop were coming out. You know,
Yeah.
that whole era right there. And that was around the same time I was seeing dancing going on at Santa Monica Pier where I lived and Venice Beach.
Yeah.
And so I think for people who saw these movies who weren't like from New York or like knew what this was already,
Right.
they were probably like seduced and fantasized about it and like had it like it was a real movie. But
Right.
for me, I was seeing it at Venice Beach and I was seeing cats rapping, so it was kind of just reaffirming what was
Yeah.
going on in my neighborhood. You
Yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
So I thought it was dope to see how it was going on over there, but I didn't get the message, so to
Right,
speak,
right.
right? So I was. But I'm probably like only like 5 years old or something, or something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. So 6. So I'm like at the beach with my father, or my mom. You know what I mean? And but yeah, and then like I remember like I didn't know what repossessed. I didn't know what a car being repossessed meant at that time. So I had to like ask, what does that mean? You know what I mean? And like shit like that. You know what I mean? So this, but then and then the sound of the beat, you know, just that sound. I had never heard anything like that, and I hadn't seen people move to music like that, and it was just opening up some shit.
Yeah.
And then it's Melly Mel, but there's also another rapper on it, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's like Duke Booty.
Yeah, and so I didn't know that for a long
Yeah.
time either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Until later, I figured that out. So.
So it's interesting that this.
And it's funny too that the rapper's not even the focus of this record.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was when the DJ was always
Yeah,
first, right?
so you know what I mean? He's
Yeah.
just like a band member, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Which is
yeah.
crazy. But if you saw the video, that changed that.
Yeah.
So, the name of the song is The Message. It's about a message in New York.
Yeah.
And you're from a totally different point of view.
Yeah.
Santa Monica Pier, just kind of seeing how this music does and how people move to it. When did you finally hear about what he was talking about and understand? And maybe when you saw the video, you're like, oh, he's talking about growing up in the times of New York.
Yeah, when you're a kid, you're smart, man. You kind of just take things in, like you don't like over process it, you know. So I got what he was saying, you know, and I knew. I could tell the struggle of what was happening. I think that's why I was attracted to it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, largely credited as like the first conscious rap song. You know, a lot of the stuff early before was like more party focused, and like, you know, it's kind of laid the blueprint for, you know, all the stuff that would come after.
And then the simplicity of the rapping, but being on point with it, and you know, it was like it kind of made sense musically,
Right.
without even realizing it. You know?
Okay.
Yeah, and there's also like, you know, I'd say there's like a generation of people that know this beat because of Check Yourself remix,
Right.
Ice Cube, right?
Yep.
And then there's like another generation who know it because of Puffy,
Right.
Can't Hold Me Down. And I
Right,
mean,
right.
I always felt like it was cool when Cube did it.
Yeah.
It wasn't cool when Puffy did it because I was like, wait, someone just did that like 3 years ago. But I mean, what was your take when you heard these kind of jackings or repossessing of these
Samplings,
beats?
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't trip off it too
Yeah.
much. I didn't trip off it too much.
Yeah.
No.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5, The Message.
Word.
Rakim
All right, next on the menu, Eric B. and Rakim, Follow the Leader.
Yeah.
Epic classic record. Let's check this out. So I was telling you off camera, I was glad that you picked this because when we had Talib Kweli on the show, he also picked this record. You know, so and I think this has shown up in even another episode as well. So obviously this hit
A lot of people.
A lot of people. Yeah. What was your experience?
Yeah, so I had been hearing Eric B and Rakim, all the first stuff, but I swear I was too young for it. And later I realized that the first one is the one, you know. But but at the time I caught right here, you know what I mean? This is where like it. And there was a graffiti artist in Venice who I looked up to a lot. I won't even say his name because he turned out to be a dick.
Yeah.
I walked into his house one day and this was on loud, and I had the bass, and then sampling himself early, scratching it, you know, and all this, and then the lyrics on this were super visual.
Yeah.
The video dropped really hard on MTV Raps. I don't know how, if you're like a real Eric B and Rakim fan, if you were happy when this was the second album or not, you know, compared to the first one. But for me, it was crazy.
I agree. I mean, what did you feel when it dropped, Warren?
I was the first album all the way.
Yeah, I know. Rightfully so. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So when this one came out, I was like, all right, this is cool. It didn't have that from a DJ point of view, like a party rock, it didn't have that, like, I know you got soul kind of party kind of feel to it, but lyrically I was like, oh, this dude's kind of doing it right now. And it was the first time I've really heard a bass line that was just so busy like that. You know, it just kept going. So I was kind of like, okay, this is good, but it, you know.
Yeah, and heavy.
And then the lyrics are just crazy on this.
Totally grab me.
You know, and then it was just so far ahead of its time. And like, you know, like literally taking you on a journey into space and all that shit was like, nobody did that really, or if they did, I didn't know about it.
And you know, when people always talk about Rakim the God, this is what I think of when they say that. The first album, I don't think of that. This is what I think of.
Yeah, well, the cadence was upped. You know what I mean? Like he was going in crazier, because if you go back and listen to I Ain't No Joke or Eric B for President, Eric B is president. They're like more like driven by his voice and the cadence and the way he's knocking the beat out. This one, he was like moving. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Obviously, the Bob James Nautilus sample, which is, I mean, Nas had a great line on one of his later albums where he's like, "I can make a whole album out of parts of Nautilus." You know, and it's so true when you look at like all the classic records that were sampled from Bob James Nautilus. So here's another great one. All right, Eric B. Rakim, Follow the Leader.
Word.
All right, next up we have Special Ed's Youngest in Charge LP with the single I Got It Made, which, man, and we also have it here on Red 45. Shout out to Double P's.
Double P's.
Let's hear this. Ev, tell us about it.
It's fire, man.
It is.
Man. Listen how it comes in. Yeah, this was like, I don't know, maybe because, you know, he was like, what, 16 or something, really young?
Yeah.
So it was like, oh, shit. I was probably 4 or 5 years younger, but it was still telling me, like, his whole shit was youngest in charge. He was killing it. He sounded like he was emulating Rakim a little bit.
Right.
You know what I mean? On a lot of his shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He had that same kind of thing going on, but with more of a kid voice.
Yeah.
The video was crazy. UMTV Raps era. It was important because a lot of people got to understand, like, I got rap for like half hour, and it started at 3, and I got out of school at 3. Right. So I'd try to get home and catch 2 videos or whatever I could before taping videos and all that shit. So if you heard a dope song and saw the video at the same time as a first impression, it was so much more powerful. Not only are you liking the music, getting to see what they look like, what they're dressing in, where they're from, the dance they got going on behind them, the whole shit. You know what I'm saying? So this and a couple others I selected, like the first time I heard them was actually seeing the video. Yeah. And I still think that works today. You know what I mean? It still works better. Like if you can see a person's vision, it just makes the audio that much more understood. And this one was crazy. The video was just so dope. All the kids at school dancing, you know, like him in the fucking Junkyard,
Yeah.
I believe,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Where he's
You know what I
bragging
mean?
about all the shit he has
And,
too.
and then he's in the
Junkyard.
worst part. Yeah, you know, and that was so tight because it was
Yeah.
like his mind was
Yeah.
there, you know, and he
Yeah.
wasn't there.
Yeah.
And, I don't know if you were older in rap at this point. Did you like this or not, or was this like a?
This is the first hip hop song that made me fall in love with hip hop. Literally, like
Yeah,
when
yeah,
I heard this,
yeah.
I was like,
Yeah, so that
oh,
was
shit.
fire, man. And probably doing graffiti right around this.
Yeah.
One of my good friends, his name was Tao.
Yeah.
And there's some dude on the wall.
Yes.
It says Dead in Tao, T-A-O, Tao, you know, but
Yep.
his name was actually Tao. We used to trip off that.
So
I think I stole this from like Music Plus or whatever. You know, like, for sure.
this for me, so I was already in hip hop. I was already like, okay, this is it. And he came on the scene, and I was like, same thing with what you said with the video.
Yeah.
And the thing that got me the most out of the video was potato alligator souffle. And then when you brought it up,
Yeah.
I was like,
I was sold.
oh, who is this guy?
Yeah,
What
it's
is-
so generic and
Yeah.
like fucked up.
And again, yeah, this is visually what this is a great example of what a video can do with the lyrics,
Yeah.
the dope MC. The production was minimal, but the bass line was there, and he was just flowing with it like you said.
And super slow flow. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
yeah.
and like that probably shaped me earlier. You know what I mean?
course.
Did
Yeah,
this
yeah.
as an MC? Is this one of the things that was like, oh wait, okay, I think I could do this, or I might want to do this? Or
Start
you still
thinking
doing graph,
thinking
or-
about maybe, but not yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the other
Alright.
thing I loved about Ed is that he had like rhymes within rhymes.
Oh, yeah,
The way
yeah.
he's writing,
It's
like
super fire.
super complex, and he was 16 years old when he
Yeah.
wrote it.
Yeah, yeah.
I just remember going like, damn, this dude is like on some completely other shit. You know?
Yep.
All right,
Yeah.
Special Ed, I got it made. All right, next up, EPMD. So what you saying from the Unfinished Business LP? Oh, this is so good. I'll point out real quick, the cover of this is shot by Jeanette Beckman, who she's like a British photographer. I know you're into photography. And she was shooting, like, literally shooting, like, the emergence of the punk rock scene in, like, the late 70s, early 80s, and doing, like, Sex Pistols and all that, and The Clash and all that. And then, like, a couple years later, she's doing Africa Bambaataa, you know, EPMD, Slick Rick. I mean, like,
Wow.
talk about a, you know. Yeah, so
Nice
tell us
career
about,
she has.
so what you saying?
Shout out to her.
Yep, shout out to
Iconic
Jeanette Beckman.
shit.
Yep.
Yeah, this was fire, man. I think it's from the same Rakim. You know, there was a lot of comparisons between EPMD and Rakim.
Yep.
So I was obviously into a certain sound, but so was everybody else. It wasn't
Yeah.
like just me. But yeah, this song is so fire. I don't know, going back and forth, super aggressive.
Yep.
Still so relaxed. That loop was just, it could just keep playing over
Yeah.
and over, and just never, the bass line under it never got boring to me. I found it recently and was like, I can't believe that's it, you know, because
Yeah.
it's just like, wow, they
Oh,
really,
the
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, like the way they did it though, it must have been hitting it's through the gear that they were running and hitting the tape machine and
Yeah.
like how it was mixed and mastered. Salute.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is I don't know, just like good ass shit that made me want to rap.
Actually, later worked with Eric Sermon on the Platform remix of,
Yeah.
or the remix of the Platform that Eric Sermon did. It's interesting you mentioned Rakim because they actually say on here
Yeah.
they say we sound like the R and the music is whack, you know.
Yeah.
The album's-
So
yeah,
they
my
kind of
bad.
address that.
Yeah, yeah.
But
This is one of the first records I heard that really showcased the DJ, and I was like,
do scratch.
I was like, this guy's good. Like, who is this
Yeah.
guy?
Yeah, it's just fire.
How did EPMD, the two MCs, the DJ that was very prevalent, affect?
Oh,
Yeah, that's the three-man thing was so it was like a good formula or whatever.
well, how about you being Mr. Slow Flow? Perry
yeah.
Smith being the slow flower, right?
Yeah, so I called him for the Mr. Slow Flow remix. you
Yeah.
know, and I got to kick it with Parrish for the day at Alchemist Studio in New York. I was
Yeah.
out of town, and then just him and me all day just chilling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I told him to say a line like put him in the yoke and snap his neck. I told him, can you say that on this shit? He was like, oh yeah. You know what I mean? He's like, oh tight. I was like, in his mind, it was like one thing less I got to worry about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that was like my super experience.
Yeah.
So I got to work with them both differently. I would say my experience with PMD was doper because it wasn't as contrived. Like Eric Sermon was through the label. You know, you got a
Right.
budget. You
Right.
motherfuckers getting paid. You know what I mean? But he still showed up and worked. He super amazing. Showed up everything. But the shit with Parrish was like, not that I didn't pay him, I did. It just still felt more like A to B.
Okay.
You know what I mean, or whatever. Yeah.
There's another like loose-knit kind of Def Squad connection, which is Redman was on the very first Dilated album that was unreleased, correct?
Yeah, yes, he was.
How did that happen?
Yeah, we got to work with Redman before, like in his prime, you know, like there is a Dark Side. That's one of my favorites. I don't know. Okay. But yeah, we hooked up, drove. I had my mom's Ford Taurus, driving him around.
Nice.
And yeah, fun. Oh, this is good. We drove to a studio in L.A. QD3 had to own the building, but it was way in the hood. Yeah. Way in the hood, like Blood hood. And I was like, never really saw Bloods too much growing up. I always grew up around Crips and Venice, you know. So that was just weird in itself. But in the Dons over there, you know, and then I had introduced QD3 to at the time, who was Kendall, who later became Red Foo. Right. You know, and so he had moved out to that same building, so he was in the hood too, in this real fucked up building. You know what I mean? But they had good studios in there. A lot of people went through there and recorded. Yeah. And so we brought Redman there. And when we were walking through the hallways, he was looking at us like, yo, because he came by himself, like, where the fuck are you taking me? Right. And so Red Foo recorded it, which was funny. That's great. And then it was a funny story. He was real like standoffish all day. But Red Foo had his girlfriend there, and we all went in the other room. He opened up and like just started kicking it with her, and like mad talkative, and like we had the door closed. We heard them like laughing in the other room. We were dying. You know, rappers when they were in their time, like, not that getting older doesn't mean you're not in your time, but like when you're in the league, are different people than they are
later on in their career.
When they've seen shit. You know what I'm saying? So it was funny to work with him at that time, not like last year. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And what was like, what's the fate of that record? That image was Imagery Battle Hymns?
Yeah, I hope it just
like it's like a demo basically.
Yeah, it was a demo basically.
Yeah. But it was signed to
Immortal.
Yeah. The next chapter. I remember that too. Yeah. All right, we're going too deep right now. EPMD. So what you saying? All right, moving on to the Bay Area. We have Life Is Too Short on 45 here.
Nice.
It says
Too
100.
Short is from LA too.
Boom.
Let's not forget.
So tell us about this. Where were you when you heard this first time?
I was probably with a couple of my best friends playing it when my parents weren't home.
Right.
Yeah.
Had to.
This was the tape my mom threw out. We all got that one. Hopefully we all have that story or something close.
Yep.
Altered. That happened. This whole album was super crazy. I missed Born to Mac.
Okay.
But
this is an entry point for a lot of people for him.
Yeah, so I didn't know, but I knew about what was it? Cuss Words? Cuss Words was on this song. What was the song? Well, he had a crazy
City
song.
of Dope.
The song where he's talking all that shit. But anyway,
a lot of them.
That's all. Yeah.
There's one in particular. I'll tell you in a minute. But anyway, when I got this was like crazy shit. I think now listening to it once again sounds like Rakim kind of.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, same, because he used that same riff on Microphone Fiend, the Average White Band.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So, but they were in the LA River, I think, on this video. Yeah. Video again.
Yep.
Real basic shit, but 808 was bumping. Everybody was playing it. Whatever summer this was out, everybody was.
Yep.
Killing this shit.
Yeah. The rap was real simple. It was real like.
I think if you were a lyricist, like an MC's MCU, I don't know if you liked this or not at that time. But
I was a New York head at this point, so I was kind of like.
Yeah, I could see that, but
this guy's all right.
Still wasn't rapping yet, so.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To me, it was just all good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was so funky that or as he would say, funky. I didn't care about the lyrics. You know what I mean? Like I was
they
like,
were great.
Yeah.
And he wasn't hiding behind shit. You know what I'm saying? It was just like.
Yep.
That's the thing about rapping slow is like, there's nothing to hide behind. So it's an art in itself. Is like, can you say enough good shit and not be exposed? Do you have enough to say? Because everyone's gonna hear all of it. You know?
Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Did you check out the movie Black Panther?
Yeah.
And did you hear the Too Short in the beginning?
It was great.
Yeah. I mean, like when I saw that, I was like, all right, I'm open. I was like, you guys got me. Like
Yeah.
first 5 minutes.
I went with on an Atmosphere tour in Canada. We had an off night. We all went. Shit was dope.
Yeah. Oh, I can imagine the reaction. Yeah. All right, Life Is Too Short.
Watch your back, life is.
All right, next up we have the D.O.C. No One Can Do It Better LP, original pressing, courtesy of John Doe.
Nice,
Shout out
John.
Doe.
Thank you.
But your cut on here is funky enough.
Y'all ready for this?
Man, this is a good track. Tell us about it, Ev.
Video shot in the same spot.
Yep.
Yeah, Dr. Dre.
Yeah.
Shit is just like he's killing shit right now.
Yeah.
And then shot in the LA River again, same place. Yeah, and then I could have picked the NWA song or Eazy-E song, but
Yeah.
I chose this just because I remember just really like rapping along to the TV,
Yeah.
like nailing it and trying to move like him a little bit, the
Yeah.
whole shit, and then just being in LA, knowing where this King of Kings thing is, you know what I mean, and just
When you
he was killing the funk, the reggae accent didn't even bother me. I didn't even didn't even give a shit. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
did the production grab you more in this?
Yeah,
or
I think the
vocal, or
funky,
kind of both?
funky that really
Yeah.
got me.
Okay.
Yeah, this is just a perfect, I mean,
But yeah, but he was murdering
Yeah.
it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And the way the video started, they're looking for D.O.C. All of NWA is in the video.
Yep.
It
Yep.
was just like,
Yeah.
This whole album was like, again, I'll admit I was a New York head.
Right.
I was barely checking for LA,
Yeah.
and he came out, and I was like, this guy is killing it right now. Who is this guy?
Yeah, yeah.
and
The
he's from
lyrics-
Texas, so
Yep.
you know.
And I found that out later that he was from Texas, and I found out in the
So
movie.
yeah. Well, I was gonna say, what if you watch the movie? Is this weird now hearing this? Like, oh, that's that shit from the movie or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
No, the thing I got from the movie was, or was it? I think it was the movie or the where he said that he wanted to be all clean. He didn't want any cuss
yeah,
words
yeah,
in the
yeah.
whole
Yeah.
thing because he wanted to be like the educated
Right.
person or
Right,
whatever
right.
of NWA. And
Yeah, if you look, he's got the,
it totally blew
he
me.
doesn't have.
Yeah,
gold
he's got the
chains
African
on.
symbol,
Yeah, it totally blew me away because I didn't think of it. It hit me hard because I was like, wow, yeah, there weren't any cuss words in that, and you could, and I knew I was on the radio,
Yeah.
and I could just play anything on this album.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it also was like, if NWA was like too offensive for you, it was like you could get like a version of it that was.
But I didn't even
slightly
get
less.
that from it
Yeah.
at all. I just was like, this shit. I guess it's so. I didn't even think about that. you
Yeah.
know?
And again, being so like really hardcore into New York hip hop, and talking to a lot of people in New York, they were checking for him. Like
I was I wanted to put Above the Law, Living Like a Hustler. Like
good.
that was.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been tough. This was tough.
Yeah. It's hard to narrow it down.
You can't go wrong.
All that Dre production at the time was
yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's look. Can we look at the formula real quick?
Oh, I think Above the Law might have produced their shit. I don't know. But anyway, anything affiliated, you know what I mean, was
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. There was another point I was gonna make about. Oh. So the corniest part about this record, it's not really about this record, but it's this, what became corny.
Y'all ready for this?
Was that Too Unlimited? That jock jam shit?
yeah, they jacked it. Yeah,
yeah. And they just wound that shit over and over
As
again.
long as he got paid.
Yeah.
No, he probably got paid.
Yeah, he
big
probably
time,
got
'cause
paid.
that record. Yeah.
Yeah. So that always hurts a little when you hear that.
They could sample my shit.
Was there anything else on this album that you were like?
The whole album was
yeah,
crazy.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
All right, the D.O.C. It's funky enough.
In the streets of New York.
All right, marking its third time on the show. Cool G Rap and DJ Polo, Streets of
Man.
New York.
Third
Yeah.
time.
This song?
So Blockhead chose Streets of New York, and then R.A. the Rugged Man chose Poison, which is on the B-side, like as a bonus track.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this 12-inch has been on the show 3 times. But
So
tell
you're
us
in good
about it.
company.
In the streets of New York. Dope fiends are leaning for morphine. The TV screen follow the homicide scenes. You live here, you're taking a chance to look, and I take one glance. There's a man.
Oh, you said you weren't gonna rap along. I saw it coming out, man. Broke your promise.
Tell us about it.
Yeah, I got the maxi single on cassette.
Did you pay for that one, or you?
I probably stole it.
Okay.
The instrumental was there. We used to rap on it. But like as a joke. It wasn't like real rapping, but like it was like I had a microphone that was attached to a stereo system, so we'd like clown. Killing it. Blind Man plays the sax. My man, Anton. Anton. I was trying to think of his last name. Pachansky.
Yep.
He's the engineer for this record. It turns out that was him playing like a corny sax on a keyboard. You know what I mean?
And
there's like
on the show, he was telling us that story about Anton, and he was like, "Oh, I got the bass that was on Illmatic on Halftime." You know.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. So that, and then just the lyrics again. This is like a updated version of the message, kind of. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. But then the cadence was different than most people at this. You know, he was telling a story, but it was still like like on some MC shit. You know what I mean? And that's why because like ever since Symphony or whatever, I didn't get up on him probably on his first album either. But you know, like he was like undoubtedly the nicest dude on that record. You know what I mean? It was like it jumped up a notch when he came on. So after that, it was always like this Ill Street Blues later, and
that was my cut.
And even after long to follow after he and I'm still probably till recently he's probably just killing shit. But he's probably, you know, if you argue and say he's like your favorite rapper, that's like a easy.
No one's really gonna.
Yeah. No one's gonna question that.
He's in a lot of people's top 5.
He was a good head test.
But the good thing is that this song he knew to dumb down enough to make it this clear. You know what I'm saying? So that's the same reason I probably liked it with all the other records. It's not like. Because the rap got way more lyrical after this and way more, but he was like right at the edge of like being really like mathematically correct and like rhyming within the rhymes like you were talking about, but still knew how to make a record.
Yep.
You know, so he was super crazy.
Kool G Rap was one of those artists that if you wanted to test, you met another fellow hip hop head and you wanted to test whether he was ahead or not.
Yeah, like 4, 5, 6 shit was some of my favorite. You know what I'm saying? So like he kept going, and then after that even, so it's like, he has a crazy run in rap.
Yeah. Now he just didn't he just release an album with his son?
I'm not knowing, but
I think he did.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
How much did his lyricism influence you on this?
Probably did.
Okay.
Probably did.
Yeah.
Because if I had the instrumental, I was probably trying to do whatever or whatever they were doing. Probably embarrassing. But I would say that like EPMD and later on Gangstar. I didn't get to Gangstar Records because those came later, but that was probably like the bigger influence. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Would you try to? Would you memorize the raps? Of these records?
All these records. And then I wouldn't know what a lot of the shit was, so I'd improvise and make up things. I never knew like you drive a Corvette, I drive a Samurai Suzuki. I didn't know. I couldn't hear. There was a big delay. So it was like you drive a Corvette. So like Samurai Suzuki kind of got lost in there, and I always make up shit.
Okay.
Yeah. That was not on this song, EPMD shit. I'm just saying like those type of things. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Kool G Rap, DJ Polo, Streets of New York.
Nice.
All right, closing things out, we have your new album, Whether or Not, which the title comes from that classic line on Guaranteed, which, you know, I mean, is that something that everyone says in the crowd when you do it live? Yeah. I mean, that line is actually the first line that I heard from you that I was like, whoa, this dude, like he's on some clever shit. You know what I mean? So we're checking out Throw It All Away, right? Yeah. And I like this track. I was telling you earlier because my name's also Michael, and the hook says, "Michael, don't throw it all away." So tell us about this.
It was the first song I recorded for the album.
Yeah.
Alchemist on the beat.
Yeah.
It got brought to my attention after that a couple other people, Madlib and O.C. had used the sample also.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I didn't know till after because I was completely not influenced by it.
Right.
You know what I mean, or whatever. So
yeah,
I just got to do my own thing on it. And it's one of those songs that came together really good. The second verse got modified a little bit. I had so much time to sit on this. I had time to like look for weak things. You know what I mean? And so the second verse got changed a couple times, but the first verse and hook came really fast, and I kept the first take I did.
Yeah.
Which is always a good thing when that happens.
Yeah, of course.
You know, so the I'm saying a lot of good shit, and I feel like the video, it's like I use my real name on the hook. I feel like this album I'm moving more out of trying to like live as like my moniker and embracing just who I am more. And so this is a good example of that. The video, it was me in the rain in LA, which never rains, so it worked out. And I think it's an honest song and like capture where I was at the moment real good, and shows vulnerability, shows flaws, but it's still like it worked out good, you know. Yeah,
great album. Whether or not it's in stores right now, I mean, what can you tell us? What's next on the horizon?
Another album.
Yeah.
I've started it already.
Yeah.
I have a son, so it's been different.
Yeah.
And being full-time dad is some crazy shit.
Yep.
So I'm finding my ways, but I've been touring crazy last few months just because it's what I need to be doing for numerous reasons, you know. But and I feel like I'm gonna go hard till the end of the year, and then take a few months off and really just get my focus and make a concentrated record real fast. I don't want to give myself too much time to overthink anything.
Right.
Yeah, and I want to get into a little more of my own production on my own albums, because I always end up using Alchemist, or I have to, because I have access to some of the greats, so I can't just say I'm gonna make the beat, you know, and because that's my ego, but I want to earn my spots, you know. And so I'm trying to make my own album.
Okay.
If that makes any sense to you.
Yeah.
What DAW are you using, or do you MPC?
Hardware. I've been ASR 10 and MPCs and all that kind of shit.
Okay.
It all goes into digital, and then we can do whatever.
Right.
But I like getting the base of it with that shit.
Get the feel of it better with it.
Yeah, just it doesn't matter.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I do like the actual sound of it.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is evidence, whether or not. Thank you for being here, man.
This was fun. Thank you for
thanks,
having me,
man.
man.
Thank
awesome.
you, man. For real.
Yeah, great to have you here.
Yeah.
All right.
Now that I did this, I'm gonna go watch all the other ones.
All right, this is Let the Record Show. I am Mike Pizzo.
I'm Warren Peace.
Today's special guest.
Evidence.
Thank you, man.
Thank you for having me.
All right, we're out of here. Peace.
Money, I'ma blow it all today. They say, Michael, don't throw it all away. And my reply was, there's more on the way. When I said it, I was walking in the rain.